it's your girl Chidera, aka Vibes with Adoibo, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. If you've never seen my face before, if you're returning, you're welcome. Thank you for watching my videos. Today, as you can tell from the title, I will be talking all about being a commuter. I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to survive college as a commuter student, and I hope you find some of these tips helpful. Keep watching. All right, so before I get right into the tips, I just want to define what a commuter is. So a commuter student is somebody who comes to school from an off-campus site. So anybody who doesn't live on campus, like you don't live in the dorm, you live with your parents, you have your own apartment, you drive, take the public transport to school, whatever it is, you are a commuter. So I attend the City College of New York, and I've said this like in pretty much all my videos at this point. My school is located in Manhattan, New York City. I live in the Bronx, and it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to get to school. For some people, this is worse. Not in a bad way necessarily, but it could take anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours from different parts of the city to get to school. Now I'm done telling you exactly what a commuter is. I'm just gonna go straight into the tips. My tip number 1 on surviving college as a commuter is avoid those early classes and night classes if you can. Early classes, I'm talking about 8 a.m.s, and for my school, the last class ends around like 9. If you can avoid those, do it, because you cannot predict. So for most students that go to my school, I know they take the train or the bus. Very few drive, but even if you drive, this still applies because you might run into traffic and you can't really predict what's gonna happen, you know? So if you have an 8 a.m., you're always gonna be running into the risk of coming to school late just because, you know, it's pretty early. I don't know about a lot of people. I'm not a morning person, so I like to plan my classes in a way that I have enough time to get to school. So for the past 2 semesters, my earliest class has been 11 a.m. and I'm totally fine with that. I leave my house at like 8 and I get to school 9:30ish, and I'm fine. So if you can avoid those early classes and late classes, because I personally do not want to be in school till 9 p.m. every single day. If you end up having an early class, you know, it's beyond you, like you cannot avoid it, that's totally fine. Just have it at the back of your mind that you are gonna have to be going to bed early, waking up early, leaving your house like extra early, giving yourself enough time to get to school because you really do not want to miss class. So yeah, if you can avoid early and late classes, do that. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, pack your own lunch. This might be like, well, duh, but I know for my school, eating in the cafeteria is a bit expensive. Not even a bit, it is expensive. Excuse me. I actually can count the number of times that I bought food in the cafeteria, and it's mostly not because I didn't have my own food. That day I thought, I was like, you know, I'm gonna try food from the cafeteria today. It was like a conscious decision that I had to make because I was willing to spend that money. But most of the time I pack my own lunch, and packing your own lunch, not just it's healthier, but you know, you save yourself that extra money and extra stress of figuring out what I'm going to eat today and spending more money than you would want to, because, you know, college is expensive. Tip number 3 is to try to do all your studying in school, like your homeworks and stuff, because this would really go a long way to help you. I know, at least for me, that's what I do, so that when I get home, I have little to no homework left, you know? So let's say my last class ends at like 6 p.m. I would just stay in school till like 7 or 8 just to get as much work as I can before I get home, so that when I get home I just know, oh, I'm just gonna like finish up this assignment that I didn't finish. And then, you know, it lessens the load that you have to do when you get home. Tip number 4 is to try to join as many clubs as you can. Not as many, I'm sorry, but as many that you can handle, obviously. You know, do anything you can to get involved, because I feel like for most people, when they hear about commuting to college, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna have any friends, I'm not gonna get involved. But that's not necessarily the case. Your college experience is what you make out of it. So for me right now, I am part of the undergraduate student government. I'm part of the African Students Association. When school starts again, I hope to join more clubs. You know, do what you can to get involved, because at the end of the day, you don't just want to be that person who just comes to school just to go to class and go home and you have no social life. Like, that's not what makes the college experience. Find something that you can do outside of just going to class and going home, something that would, you know, make you feel like you belong to your campus. So this is a way for you not to feel left out. And, you know, you never know, you could make more friends from doing that. That is one way to make friends. My next tip is make friends with residents. And by this I mean, if you have friends who dorm, make friends with them. What did I just say? If you have friends who don't, I meant make friends with residents. Like, if you know a student who lives on campus, try to, you know, befriend them, because you will find out that maybe as finals are approaching, or you might have an exam the next day and you stay in school or in the library late to study, and you realize you can't necessarily make it home on time or whatever. You might just want to sleep over at your friend's house or your friend's dorm, and that is when these friendships are important. Next tip, take advantage of breaks. So when I make my schedule, I don't like to have classes back to back. I kind of feel drained, because most classes in my school are like 75 minutes long, and that is already a long time to sit through a class. And imagine doing that for like 2 or 3 classes in a row. I just can't. So I try to give myself breaks, at least 1 to 2 hour breaks. And in that time, when I say make use of the breaks, that is the time when you can catch up on homework from other classes, go to office hours, go to tutoring, go to a club meeting, do what you gotta do, and make the best of those breaks, you know? Because sometimes you will just like not take advantage of times like this, the free time that you have, and you find yourself like struggling at the end of the day to get stuff done. Meanwhile, you had a whole 3-hour break and you just did nothing. So yeah, make use of your breaks. Next tip is to try to attend events on campus. This is where, you know, joining clubs is important. And yeah, sometimes a club that you're a part of might not necessarily have their own event. But what I mean by attend campus events is, you know, when there's something on campus that is open to all students, try to attend, because this is where your social life is kind of formed, you know, by being active. Being a commuter, there might be events that happen, you know, maybe late at night that you're not necessarily going to be able to attend. So the events that are open to all students and are in the daytime, try to attend those, because that's how you make friends. That's how you enjoy your college experience and make the most of it. My next tip is be prepared. All right. You live, an hour, 2 hours away. You don't have the luxury of going to your dorm to, you know, pick up a textbook that you forgot or something like that. So pack your bag the night before. You know, get everything you need, get yourself together. Maybe in the morning, you know, do what you gotta do, because you forget that assignment, it's over for you, because you're not going to travel 1 hour back home to get the thing that you forgot. So always come to class prepared. In addition to being prepared, check your emails before class. This is very important and it will save you a lot of stress. So let's say maybe the professor canceled class like an hour before or 2 hours before class was about to start, excuse me, and you didn't check your email. You're gonna come to class and guess what? There's no class. And now who looks stupid? You, because you didn't check your emails. So yeah, check your emails. Next tip, connect with other commuters. So I said make friends with residents. Now you also have to connect with other commuters because, you know, it's kind of just a safe space for you. You know, you can find people that live close to your house that you can go home with. I know for me, I have friends who also live in the Bronx, and you know, the highlight of my day is going home together. Like, we could talk about our day on the train and, you know, just talk about things that happen with us and form more relationships and form closer bonds. So you really want to connect with not just people who live in the dorms, but also students who are commuters like you, because you have something in common already, and that's going to school from home. You can talk about your difficulties and what you're struggling with, and just having someone to, you know, go home with together is something that I look forward to every day. Next tip, get a job if you can. All right, this is like, it goes along with making and taking advantage of your breaks, because sometimes I would have like a 5-hour break. Obviously, I'm not going to be studying for the whole 5 hours or 4 hours, however long my break is. But you know, if you have a job on campus, you would be able to maximize that time, because now you're getting money. And you know, it's just, and sometimes these on-campus jobs, you're not even required to do a lot. It could be like copying papers or something, and that's like I don't want to say it's an easy job, but like, it's something you can do in no time, and you have the rest of the time to study. You're getting most on-campus jobs, at least for my school, like, people are just getting paid to do their homework, and I'm just like, why can't it be me? Finally, make use of your time on the train and the bus. So I told you it takes me 45 minutes to get to school, right? All right. And I have a test on this day. I'm not just listening to music on the train. I'm actually studying my flashcards and going through my notes, because that is actually time that I could use to, you know, grasp the information, let it soak in, so that I can do better on my test, you know? So try to make use of your time on the train and the bus. If you have a shorter commute, obviously this does not apply to you, but if you have a longer commute, like, you know, 1 hour, 2 hours, like, do what you gotta do, make use of that time. Not necessarily keep your homework to last minute just because, oh, I have 1 hour on the train. No, if you can't do some schoolwork, do it. You know, if it could be reading the textbook, if you have an e-file, or if you have a PDF of the textbook on like your phone or something, you could just be reading that and be doing your readings and knock it out. So when you get home, you can just chill and rest. Anyways, we've come to the end of this video. If you have any more questions or any more tips for students, make sure you leave them down in the comments below, and I would love to answer any question anybody has about commuting to school or attending the City College of New York, what it's like to go to school in New York. With all that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.